What's good, everybody? It is your boy Cap, finally back with another video for you guys. Today we are here to talk about something that, one, I've been meaning to make a video on for like 2 weeks, and two, I feel like it's overdue because, you know, this kind of came out 2 weeks ago as far as the news announcement, and that is regarding Xenoverse 2 on the next gen. What this means and how Xenoverse 2 will change in a big way, in my opinion, and then also how this will most likely affect the chances of Xenoverse 3. And honestly, I feel like Xenoverse 3 has the lowest chance of happening ever at this point in time. Like, I've never felt this low on the game, but the fact that Bandai and Dimps are showing just insane support and commitment to Xenoverse 2 at this point in time, at this day, almost 4 years after the game came out. We're definitely past the 3.5-year mark. We're only like 4 months away from the 4-year anniversary. We are still getting content for the game, and we have now had the game announced for the next generation of consoles. Now, a lot of people may be like Cab, because I feel like this is the biggest argument I've seen as to why Xenoverse 3 still has a good chance of happening. But let me debunk it real quick. A lot of people are saying, Cab, Xenoverse 1 came out on all 4 consoles. It was on the next gen and the old gen. That is true. Let me give y'all that. That is true. But while that is true, it also came out in 2015. The PS4 and Xbox One came out in 2013 or 2014. It was one of the two around the winter and like just the holiday season of that time. I remember actually being with my homie on Black Friday. He was getting a Xbox One console, and that was like a couple weeks after they had released. We were waiting in line for a long time, all things like that. So again, they came out like a year or two before Xenoverse did. And when Xenoverse finally came out, games were still being made for PS3 and Xbox 360. So Xenoverse released for 4 different consoles on day 1. Xenoverse 2 is releasing on PS4 and Xbox One, and then 4 years later releasing on PS5 and Xbox Scarlet. That is a major difference right there. When games are made, like for example, any new game that comes out on PS5 or Xbox Scarlet, they will be available most likely for the Xbox One and the PS4 for the beginning games of the PS5 stage and Xbox Scarlet stage. Why? Because gaming companies know not everybody has the money right away to upgrade. So if they don't put this game on the older gen of consoles, they're not going to get all their sales. And that was the case with Xenoverse 1. That is why it was on all 4 consoles. Again, Xenoverse 2 is a completely different story. This is a game that's been out for 4 years, a game that has continued support, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop in terms of support as we stand right here, right now. We got this free update coming in. I truly believe DLC 11 and DLC 12 will happen, especially since they are announcing it and putting it on the next gen. That just makes me feel like DLC 11 and 12 are going to happen that much more at the same time. Just because, why would you put this on the new gen and have no kind of new content for it or any plans for it in that regard? So like I said, man, I truly feel that the whole confirmation of Xenoverse 2 on PS5 has honestly lessened our chances big time of Xenoverse 3 ever happening. Now again, I'm not saying it's 0% chance and it's not going to happen at all. With these announcements and things like this constantly happening, again, I just do not feel strongly anymore about Xenoverse 3. I pray to God that I am wrong, because I love this Xenoverse series. I hope it continues and we get that next installment in this series. But I don't want you guys to be all hyped up at the same time and feel like Xenoverse 3 is guaranteed based off of things like sales. Like, I've thrown the whole sale thing kind of out the window, and I threw it out the window really when I found out that Storm 4 actually has sold more games than Xenoverse 2. It's not by much. It's probably at like 6.2, 6.3 million in comparison to Xenoverse's 6 million, which was just hit recently. But again, it has outsold Xenoverse, and it hasn't gotten any kind of new game in any way, shape, or form. So the simple fact that their most successful anime game ever, when you're talking on terms of Bandai as a company, has not gotten a next installment in the series, I can understand and see that they may do the same for Xenoverse 2 as well. So again, man, let me know your thoughts on the simple fact of Xenoverse 3, the chances of it, all things like that down below in the comments. but I want to go over really quickly because I feel like a lot of people aren't thinking about this. But the changes that will come to Xenoverse 2 on the next gen console. For anybody that had the PS4 and Xbox 360 or PS4 and PS3 at the same time, got like the console early on, you knew that they made games again at that time like Xenoverse 1 for both consoles, and they had games that were already out on Xbox 360. For example, like a game that pops into my head right away. At that time I was really into the 2K games, and like 2K, I believe it was 13. 2K13 was out already before the Xbox One and PS4 came out, and then once those released, we had next gen versions of those games on the PS4 and the Xbox One. And let me tell you right here, right now, a lot, and I mean a lot, changed within the game. The modes that were available changed within the game. The gameplay itself changed in the game. The graphics, the online experience, all those things changed because we're on a whole different platform, a whole different console. And I expect something similar to happen with Xenoverse 2. I expect the graphics to be changed and enhanced without doubt for the next gen of console. I expect, potentially some better netcode on the next gen of console. I really pray that is something that is changed on the Xenoverse 2 PS5 and Xbox Scarlet version whenever they do come out. Now, in terms of gameplay and mode changes, I really don't think that will necessarily happen. I hope it really doesn't either, because if you look at Xenoverse 2, man, Xenoverse 2 has some of the funnest gameplay when the game is acting properly. When the game is working right and there's no netcode issues or anything like that, some of the funnest and best anime 3D fighting gameplay you can possibly experience. So I really hope they don't change anything along those lines, but I'm definitely expecting some graphical changes, and I'm expecting the netcode changes as well. Now, when it comes to the netcode, I don't know if it'll be like amazing or anything like that. I'm not saying that it's going to make insane changes for the better. This is still Bandai and Dimps, but I do expect them to change up the net play and hopefully improve upon it with Xenoverse 2 on PS5 and Xbox Scarlet. So those are two of the things that I really expect to happen without doubt. Now, like I said earlier, some things that potentially could happen would be like gameplay, game modes, stuff like that. Only exclusive to the PS5 versions, but I do not really see the gameplay necessarily changing too much. I feel like that, I don't know, in a game that's been established for 4 years, to change up the gameplay, I think the fan base would really be bothered by that, as opposed to a game like 2K13. It was only out for a couple months before the PS4 and Xbox One version was released, and they did make gameplay changes to that, but again, the game was only out for a couple months, so it wasn't as big of a deal. This game would be out for over 4 years, and for them to change the gameplay, again, I really just do not see that. But I can see some potential new game modes coming, or even something like an exclusive character that's only available on the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet versions, because you guys got to think, all PS4 and Xbox One games are backwards compatible. You will be able to play Xenoverse 2 the very first day you get a PS5 on that PS5 due to the backwards compatibility. So they got to do something to really make the fan and the consumer want to buy this game once again. Because like I said, people have bought it multiple times. They'll have backwards compatibility available. So if you're really only looking at a netcode change and a graphical change, is that something that's really worth spending another $60 on? I really don't think so. So like I said, I can definitely see some kind of exclusive character, some kind of exclusive mode, or something along those lines being thrown in with the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet version of this game. But let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comments. Do you guys think first and foremost that Xenoverse 3 is still very likely? Because like I said earlier in the video, it just is not looking good for us as a fan base. The fact that they are moving on with Xenoverse 2 to the PS5 is just kind of insane, especially since the game's been out for 4 years. And then also, guys, with Xenoverse 2 coming to the PS5, what do you think will exactly change with that? Let me know all that stuff down below in the comments. But as always, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, hope you have a good day. Peace, y'all.